It's all very labor intensive.
But did they posters for it? No.
Well, there were posters, yeah, but it wasn't a very popular film because it was very, very grim. You know, the snowman.
There's a comic book also where
he did the book originally, and then the film was made from the book. It was the same company that did the very famous Beatles' Yellow Submarine film, which probably a lot more people have seen.
Yeah, of course.
Which is a real classic, yeah. But they also did the Snowman film. They also did the bear, I think, the polar bear or something, which is another Raymond Briggs book. So anyway, this diary, I just finished it, finally, a few days before I came out here. And as soon as I finished the book, I got a throat infection. So I've been laboring with that for a week and a half now, which I think has something to do with finishing the book, actually, because it's been 3 years of hand transcription because I don't type. So I've had to have a friend type it for me, and it's only half typed, but it's 900 or so pages of handwriting. So I've had a friend who's an art director come and look at the project, and he thinks that unlike other memoirs, it should be a 2-volume set so that there's a book of the writings and a book of the art, so that all my paintings of people and the little coasters and photographs and party photos and cartoons by other people, so all that artwork can go into the second book, so that you can have pictures to go along with the book, but if it was in one big book, it would be too heavy to open. Because I keep everything. And there's lots and lots of fascinating people. There were people like Stanley Mouse, Alton Kelly, Victor Moscoso, Jim Osborne, who's passed away now, Dave Sheridan, lots and lots of fascinating artists. I knew over 42 other cartoonists just in my social circle, not even mentioning the women cartoonists, and there were about, excuse me, 11 or 12 of them at any one time. And one time I had a party, and I just papered my hallway with big sheets of paper and put pens and crayons at the bottom of the wall, and everyone like Spain and S. Clay Wilson all came and just drew big pictures all over the hallway, and then I had this great big roll of paper. But we had incredible times together. We went to the first San Diego Comics conventions in the early 80s, and Harvey Kurtzman was there from Mad Magazine. And there was nude swimming in the swimming pool. This was at the El Cortez Hotel. This was not at the big, hotel that they have it now, which is mostly about film rights. It's big money now. But when we went, there was hardly any people. And so it was an amazing free-for-all. And there were people like Dan O'Neill there who got prosecuted by Walt Disney for doing a comic strip that made fun of Mickey Mouse. A lot of these people won't be familiar to you, but if you do pick up a copy of this when it's published, you will get to know them by reading the book. And that's the main reason that I did it, because I don't want these people to be forgotten. They were an amazing part of history that I don't think...
R.A. Becker as well, right?
Who?
R.A. Becker, no? R.A. Becker was on this territory.
Oh, Harvey P. Carr. Harvey P. Carr lived on the East Coast. We did have Harvey and his wife and his adopted daughter, Danielle, visit us in Northampton. And I still have the photograph of the three of them when they came to visit. Danielle told her mother, Joyce, I'm very proud of this. Danielle said, Mom, I know that you were a big fighter for political rights and you were part of the Christic Institute, which is a very important was it not FBI? What's the other one?
KGB?
Well,
KGB?
No, that's Russian.
Russian.
It's like the FBI, but anyway, another surveillance intelligence agency in America. But the Christic Institute were a very big part of prisoners' rights and some very, very important anti-government things. But Danielle said, "Mom, I don't want to be like you. I want to be like Melinda Gebbie. I want to be a pornographer." And I said, "Yeah." So anyway, I'm looking forward to working on this and getting it into print. And I hope that you, the potential readers, will find these people as fascinating as I do, because I loved them. And, they meant a great deal to me. They're all such memorable and different people.
Yeah. And when you start doing the things with Trainer Robbins, it has also some things of disconnections in the book.
Trina,
like fresh cassettes and all that. It will be you'll talk a bit over it.
Oh, yeah, I will be talking about our little women's enclave of comics. Those were very interesting because comics were a boys' club. They were. Can I have some water? Unlike today, which I think young people today are much less ageist or sexist than our generation was. I think people of today take other people as they find them, and I think that's wiser, and I think you get more out of life that way. When we were young hippies, the saying was, "Don't trust anybody over 30." And one of our cartoonists, his name's, I'll think of it in a minute, he wrote something called the 40-year-old hippie. And he drew the guy as this absolutely frightening man, just covered with wrinkles and warts and everything, with this long, crazy gray hair, as if suddenly when you get to be 40, you're an absolute fright. They were very sexist. They were very ageist, and the women cartoonists were kind of put in a little camp by themselves, and felt very hard done by. Like I say, there were only about 10 or 11 of us at the time. But the guys would say, "Oh, you guys can't draw cars. You can't draw guys. You can't draw anything, can you?" And our publisher, Ron Turner, who ran Last Gasp Comics, actually said to us...
But Last Gasp?
Last Gasp,
was
yeah.
Was that San Francisco, right?
Yes, it was. This is